Okay. Hi, friends. This another video for you, a video blurb. This one basically falls under the there's really, when you get right down to it, even though there's a lot of new things, not much has changed. Yeah, a lot of a lot of new stuff doesn't really mean hoot. I mean, it does. It's nice to see all the new gadgets and things we've invented, but you get right down to it. Well, all that new stuff is just a newer pain in the neck, I guess. And yet, nice to have. Okay, case in point, television. Back when, and electronic gadgets. Let's put it that way. Of course, yeah, I was a war baby. I came, I came to this earth, this glorious old orb there out in the middle of nowhere, right after World War II. I think television had been invented before the war, but they were way too busy fighting the war to really get too crazy about television. But I think it was actually. I think TV may have been displayed at the New York World's Fair. I think. I wasn't there, but I believe I've read that. Any case, TV really hit boy, did it hit hard right after the war. All the war babies and the families and stuff, people were going nuts for things to do. And so television bango came along. A lot of folks started doing TV shows. Companies were formed to broadcast, and they did it with transmitters. Like you saw King Kong climbing up the side of the Empire State Building. Well, he was probably heading up there and he knows how grumpy he was. He was probably going up to adjust the TV antenna. Because that's what happened. See, television didn't come in by way of cable. It came by way of antenna. Once you got your TV, which, by the way, the screen was about this big, right? And everybody sat like this watching it. I mean, if you could see the audience, yeah, here'd be mom, here'd be dad, the kids all right here. Yeah. And maybe the neighbor who didn't have a TV yet would be right here looking. And again, the TV, not much, a little bigger than a smartphone, actually, maybe about 4 times the size. And but if the reception, if the antenna wasn't set just right for the signal, you got all this fuzz and snow, or the picture would like that. It would roll. Oh my God, it was awful. You couldn't hear it. And so someone would usually dear old dad, would have to get out the ladder, climb up the chimney, alongside the chimney, and with a wrench in hand would adjust the TV while mom looked at the TV, then ran to the window and hollered for him, "No, turn it a little more. It's almost better. Let me look." Oh, and she runs back to the TV. Dad's up there at the top, hanging onto the chimney. He's waiting to fall. It's all slippery. The kids are crying. Kids like me screaming because Howdy Doody's not on. Why can't I see Howdy Doody? And finally, and mom's running back and forth. Dad's up there screaming and cussing, hanging on for dear life. And finally, he gets it just right. Bolts the antenna into place. Kind of adjusted it. Yeah. Now the TV looks good. He climbs back down. Howdy Doody. The kids watched Howdy Doody. The big basketball game's on, and now it needs adjusting again. So up you go again. You're cursing the day you were born. Why didn't I just go to the game? It would have been cheaper. God, it's only $5 to get into the game, and God, this TV cost us what? Well, $15. Crying out loud, God. And we learned a lot of great words as kids, and of course, while the old man's up on the hanging on to the chimney for dear life, mom's and using some wild language. Mom's showing us the bar of soap. That we'll be treated to if we repeat any of that stuff. And I didn't like that. And it was just all the time you were doing that. Eventually, the rich folks got an antenna. I remember my first wife's parents. had one of these. It was a device that sat on the TV, and if you wanted a television station coming out of Philadelphia, you could turn a little dial on the box, and the antenna would rotate in the direction so for the best pickup for Philly. And then maybe you wanted a show in New York City or Newark. There were stations in Newark. You'd adjust accordingly, and bingo. And that was quite nice. You didn't have to climb, risk certain death up there on the roof. Cool. That worked. Very nice. But that thing you had to put together. Yeah. So it was you spent a good afternoon screaming and yelling, hurting your thumb and stuff. It's always modern days are going to be better. You dream of, oh gosh, sometime in the in the not too distant future we'll be able to watch TV. And actually it does come in without any troubles at all. Except now there's so many stations you can't decide. Yeah, that's the other thing. And so you got to get a piece of equipment that will record the shows, but you don't know how to work it. You got to adjust it. Oh, and set it. How do I set this stupid thing? Next thing you know, yeah, you wanted to get the football game out in Cleveland, and you just got this darn cooking show instead. Oh, you got to adjust. You got to read some more and adjust. And then, what happened to me now was telephones. Telephones used to be pretty simple. The guy would come, stick a box on the outside of the house, run a wire in. Hello, hi Mabel, how are you doing? Yeah, easy. Now, phones. I got this phone. I got a deal where the phone company offered me a much cheaper way if I got one of these boxes that evidently, instead of picking the phone signal through the wires, it somehow gets it from a satellite. I think. I'm not sure where they get it from, but it's a box with a little antenna on it. Whenever you see an antenna, be very worried. Okay. Well, first off, I had to put the phone together. And the phone... I set it down. It looks like it's going okay. I turn on the box, turn on the phone. Nothing works. Oh, okay. So I, again, I don't know. I came in after about 8 or 9 hours of working at the supermarket, come crawling in the house. Sandy says the phone won't work. I couldn't make any calls today. I said, oh, God, okay. Can I eat something? Well, the phone won't work. Okay, all right, So I start fidgeting with the phone. The phone evidently has like a little antenna in it, some kind of sensor that picks up a signal from the box with the antenna, broadcasting antenna on it. And the trouble is, you got to be careful. If you get a little too close, it evidently burns out the signal. You got to be further away. I had to adjust it. So I had to make these calls. Sandy's listening on the phone as I move the antenna around. It wouldn't even let me make a call till I got it at least halfway right. So yeah, there I was. And you say, well, at least you weren't climbing on up a ladder up the side of the house. I said, well, and to that I say, yeah. But I was underneath all of Sandy's antiques, in and amongst them, crawling, trying to get to the proper, to get that darn antenna box just right. God, I hit something, and next thing I know, a cannonball fell on my knee. Well, Sandy, she found a cannonball. Yeah, and and I found it too. Oh, and then I don't know, all this stuff under the, oh gosh. I got a cramp from being under the table too long, and it was and I got to thinking, where have I seen this before? And I thought back when I was 3 or 4 years old, the old man climbing up the side of the house. Well, I wasn't climbing up the side of the house, but I was pretty deep into a pile of antiques and a whole bunch of furniture, and quite honestly, it wasn't quite what I had in mind for the evening. Tell you the truth. Right now, though, I think as long as we don't move anything, and as long as the battery stays charged, there's some worry there. But I think we'll actually be able to get phone calls. God, Won't that be nice? Anyway, like I said, nothing changes. Right? Okay. Well, I'll see you later, friends. I got to go to work. We'll see you. Bye now.